This is the best version of Call of Duty we have seen in years. And I need you to hear me clearly because I know how that sounds. This is not me trying to make Call of Duty sound good. I'm not paid to say this. I genuinely believe it down to my core. And I have undeniable evidence that Modern Warfare 4 and Call of Duty right now are operating at a level we have not seen from the franchise in a long time. So if you watched any of my videos before, you will know I love Call of Duty. Even on a bad year, I just want the purest and best form of this game. And I'm not going to insult you by pretending the last few years were flawless. Campaigns landed with a shrug, there was cheating at the highest levels of Call of Duty, and there was a feeling that when you booted up the game, you were doing it kind of out of habit instead of excitement. So when I say this year is different, it's because there is an abundance of evidence from Call of Duty that they know their previous mistakes, and the devs are working to fix them. But the thing that really hit me isn't only what they're fixing, it's how they're showing it.
You've got mail.
Oh, an email from Call of Duty. That's probably not important. We can open that later in the video. Anyways, this year Call of Duty is revealing things early. Craft, direction, anti-cheat process, not the old black box cycle where you buy the mystery and find out on launch night whether they meant it. So I'm going to walk you through what's already on the table. For a long time, the way Call of Duty used to work was that you cooked in secret. They would drop a trailer, they would go quiet, drop another trailer, go quiet, and then ship the game. And that black box is where the frustration lived within the community. Not just the game was bad, it was we couldn't see the intent of the game until it was too late to trust it. This year looks different. From the Ward. Public anti-cheat with real numbers. Devs talking, live alpha in front of players with all the nitty-gritty details. And Call of Duty Next and the open and closed betas are sitting above all of it. I'm not grading Call of Duty on vibes. I'm grading whether the early reveals match a studio that knows that it broke trust a couple of years ago. So let's look at what's already been revealed. The first reveal was Infinity Ward opened the doors. From the Ward is not a hype reel for the studio. It is a craft document, campaign, multiplayer, weapons, the people building Modern Warfare 4 on camera explaining the choices. We have the campaign, which is big war again, not a tiny side path dressed up as a blockbuster. The Korean Peninsula, North versus South. The city at the center is Hajin. Invaded, contested, and personal to the characters of the story. They didn't treat Hajin like it's wallpaper. They treat it with history, dialects, references from people who would live in the real world area. That's not trying to create a crash grab from Call of Duty. That is believability, building a better campaign. And Park, the character who's at the center of everything here in North and South Korea, is a grunt who didn't choose this. He was conscripted, and then war drops on his home. Price is past the clean hero version we know. He's more of an outlaw. Fewer tools, but the same man drawing his own lines. Multiple fronts built to collide. And that is a campaign with intent, but multiplayer. The biggest move for Call of Duty for really the last 20 years. Their goal is blunt. Make the best arcade shooter they can. Not to protect the brand, the best game. Modern Warfare 2 took away a lot from players. Infinity Ward admitted it.
We got kind of dinged on Modern Warfare 2 with our movement.
This time, they started unrestricted on day one. You can mantle into a slide, slide into prone, easy enough to feel cool, but deep enough to master for hundreds of hours of gameplay. And then, to increase multiplayer's insanity this year, they built Kill Block. Because maps go stale, and 10 games in, you know every angle and discovery dies. Kill Block uses 3 modular slabs that snap together and reshuffle every match. Shoot house scale with hundreds of combinations, and the I've never seen this angle before feeling is engineered to last. This is pure gameplay for Call of Duty at its core because you can't memorize the maps. And then, to prove that they had faith in their idea for Kill Block, they put it in front of people unfinished in an alpha state. Fanatics Fest was a live alpha, bugs and all. A streamer catches a DMR muzzle smoke bug that basically flashbangs you every time you fire the weapon. Team at home already had a fix, Next day, they swapped it and fixed it. Their line tells you about their entire strategy this year. They want to remove the friction of the fun. That's a reveal of culture and not just content. But what sold it for me, as far as multiplayer, was it is mandatory that Infinity Ward has gameplay days every Friday, every week. You don't want people making a game that they don't play. So they make everyone play the game together on Fridays to try to catch bugs and have fun and compete with each other, because at its core, if you're not making a game that you want to play, you're not going to make a game that other people want to play. And if this were all just talk up to this point, I'd still keep my guard up. But let's look at what they changed in the gunfights themselves. The second reveal, gunfights belong to the player again. They belong to you. Hipfire bloom is gone. So plain English, the way it used to work is you lined up a shot with your crosshairs and the aim might be right, but once you fire, the game rolls an invisible dice on where the bullet will actually go. Two players make the exact same read, fire at the same time, but one loses to a random number generation they can't practice against. You can't improve. That is poison. Skill is supposed to decide the fight, and Bloom injects luck into the one moment that should be pure skill. Infinity Ward called removing it one of the biggest engine changes they've ever made, because it's been in every Call of Duty since at least Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Now, on camera, they asked the question of, how did we not do this sooner? Because in Call of Duty, you live and die by decisions in skill. That is the purest Call of Duty instinct. But craft and gun feel mean nothing if cheaters own the lobby. So here's a reveal a lot of you probably care about a lot more. The third reveal, Anti-cheat stopped whispering and started posting numbers. In Warzone especially, cheating stopped feeling rare and started feeling expected for a lot of the games. And Call of Duty would ban the account, the person would create a new account on the same machine and get back in your lobbies, probably later within the same day. Punishment really didn't feel like it had any teeth. Activision's line is now pretty blunt. Hardware bans are turned on and they are stronger than ever. Over 70,000 systems got locked out of Call of Duty between Black Ops 7 and Warzone in about a week.
70,000 cheaters. Used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Over 70,000 systems locked out of Call of Duty. Actual bans on hardware to keep cheaters away and make it harder for cheaters to get in the game. And the line every legit player needed was, new account, nice try. Because the ban hits the box, not just the login, so creating a new account doesn't do anything. And a banned wave can still be a headline. What earns respect for me is that they created a schedule on top of it. There will be weekly Ricochet Anti-cheat updates through the entire year of support for Modern Warfare 4, PC and console. And their quote on this was, "We're not done." Now, I want to be precise when I say this because I'm a critic, not a cheerleader. This does not mean that cheating is dead forever. Cheaters adapt, and if someone tells you it's solved, they're overselling. But what it does mean is the cost went up. The recovery path got harder, and the posture shifted from silence to, we're going to tell you how many people we're banning and give you a schedule to make sure that people still keep getting banned every single week. Fair play is part of the pure game of Call of Duty. None of the rest of anything I've talked about today survives a ruined lobby because of a cheater. If you're getting value out of this breakdown, make sure you hit the like button because it helps get my content out there to more people who love Call of Duty like we do. For the fourth reveal, the one that I think is the most important, they are talking more. And sometimes the talk connects to a real turnaround. From the Ward, plain language anti-cheat. Fanatics Fest with a bug loop that they fixed the next day. There's a public signal of all of this and an internal response with visible results. That is why Call of Duty feels different this year. We're not walking in cold. We're walking in after Hajin, Killblock, Bloom is gone, 70,000 hardware bans, weekly Ricochet updates, and a live alpha that got fixed in a day. Call of Duty is talking to the community. They are working through this year because they might not make the best Call of Duty ever, but they're going to build the best Call of Duty game to help the community out. That is why Call of Duty Next feels different this year. The level of communication the developers have off the bat is something that we've never seen out of Call of Duty. They even are responding to people publicly on Twitter about rumors and leaks in order to make sure that we don't have the wrong expectations of the game. We're not walking in cold. We're walking in after Hajin, Kill Block, Bloom is gone, 70,000 hardware bans, weekly Ricochet, and a live alpha that got fixed in a day. So, Call of Duty Next is not carrying the whole trust burden anymore. It's an amplifier for a discussion that's already been going on. And I'm hopeful, not because I think that everything will be perfect. I don't. There's a high bar as always. I'm hopeful because the posture and the stance of Infinity Ward finally looks like a franchise that understands the assignment. Show the work early, respect the player's skill, and raise the cost of cheating. But more importantly, talk like adults when something breaks, and then put the big reveals on a stage. So when you put it together, they're revealing the craft of how the game is made. Hajin with real care, unrestricted movement, kill block, weapons treated like the stars. They're revealing the culture, live alpha, overnight fixes, mandatory playdays for their own game. They're revealing respect for your skill. Bloom is out and decisions about gameplay are in. They're revealing fair play. 70,000 plus systems were locked out of Call of Duty. Machine level bans. Weekly Ricochet updates through Modern Warfare's entire lifecycle, and we're not even done. They're revealing more in public than they used to. And Call of Duty Next is lined up to reveal even more. This is the best version of Call of Duty we've seen in years. Not because everything is perfect, not because criticism has died, but the franchise finally looks like it's building towards a pure game. And it's willing to show that they are working on getting there. And I love Call of Duty even on a bad year. That's why a good year, a hopeful year, like this one, hits so hard. I'm not here to glaze, I'm here to call it broken when it is broken, and to recognize the bar has to get cleared.
You've got mail.
Okay, let's actually look at what this email that Call of Duty sent me is. I have officially been invited to be part of Call of Duty Next this year, and I can't contain my excitement to show you all the stuff in real time, get hands-on, play the game, and most importantly, reveal all the stuff I can find to you. And sometimes, a good reveal comes because your community has pushed and helped you accomplish a goal that you didn't think you would hit this year. So, to my community, thank you. And until next time, I am IceBurgz. Stay frosty.